Oh, nobody wants to see me. I'll talk.
No, that's the only reason people tune in is to see you. People are like, oh, he's on here. What do you mean she's not making it this week? Oh, we can tune out.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So,
Are we ready?
I got a few cards. Okay. Yeah, I think we're ready. Well, we're streaming live. Hi, live audience, and hi, live audience at OzCon. Woo! Last panel of OzCon. How you guys feeling?
Great.
You're like, I don't know, I'm tired. Yeah.
It's been a weekend.
It has been. It's been a good weekend. So we're glad to be here with you. We are from GeekyKOOL.com. Cool with a K, like Cool in the Gang for those of you that are old like me. We have cards. You can pick one up afterwards, or we also have some at the booth still. So also AJ is an artist, and she's a newspaper writer and does all sorts of awesome, cool stuff.
I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none.
A Jane of all trades.
No, it's fine. You don't have to be PC with me. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Professor here, he is the editor-in-chief of GeekyKOOL and the founder of GeekyKOOL. So, and we both are huge Doctor Who.
We are huge.
Kind of what we bonded over, I think.
I think so. Well, we had 7 writers here this weekend with us, which 2 of them came in for Virginia to see the wedding and also to come here with us. So it's the first time we've had that. So our site does have several different writers. We love to have new people hear different geek voices. So if you have an interest in that, let us know. But otherwise, I will stop the commercial for the website, and we'll go talk about Doctor Who.
Come on in. If you want to come on. There you go. So, how many of you are Doctor Who fans? I know you are. You're Amy Pond. Yeah. All right. So, what doctor did you start with?
9.
So that's where most people start. I have been a Doctor Who fan since I was 4, which means 1980. It's fine. I'm in my 40s.
When I say 4, it's not in the 80s, unfortunately.
It's barely 1980. Barely.
I know you are. Right, I know.
So I've been a Doctor Who fan since before people realized what Doctor Who was.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt used to live over in England, and VHS was just kind of like coming on. This is how old I am. Was just coming on, and she would videotape them because she thought we would like them and ship them. It's before, there were all the laws that you said you couldn't do this stuff. And she would ship them. So we watched Doctor Who on VHS tapes, like late 70s, early 80s. So a huge Doctor Who fan. I've seen every episode.
So jealous.
I know, except for the Lost 6. And I've seen one of the Lost 6 because I got it on VHS tape before they lost it. I don't have the VHS tapes anymore, so
it's too bad because then you can restore it for them.
I could totally be the person who found one of the lost
episodes. That would be amazing, right?
That would be so cool. I would love that. So when did you start?
So I got introduced to Doctor Who. One of my friends in high school said, "Hey, you should watch this show on PBS," because it was showing it on PBS, but it was kind of sporadic when they would show it. And so I tried to watch a couple episodes because I really wanted to like it, but they were in the middle. What classic Doctor Who would do is they would have runs of like 5 episodes about the same thing. And I came in the middle of some sort of run, and I had no idea what was going on. And the costumes were kind of kooky. And I'm like,
fun.
It's kind of cool, but I don't really know what's going on, and I don't really understand. And this guy really the hero, and so I had a hard time. So I didn't really full on become a Doctor Who fan until Eccleston. And so when he came on, then I was able to go back and with the power of technology, being able to stream stuff, go back and watch some of the classic stuff. And now I'm a fan of the classic and of the modern Doctor Who. So.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a thing. I always tell people not very many people start as fans, especially now, start as fans of the classics and have gone up. And then so when people are new to Doctor Who, they're like, which Doctor should I start with? And I'm like, Chris. Start with Chris because it's more modern. The technology is
right.
more modern. The props are better. The costumes are better. But I love my classic.
Right.
heroes. So, although I will say, the villains have gotten so much better.
Well, except, I mean, the Daleks have not
They
changed
have
a
not changed
lot.
that much.
And-
They've
and
streamlined them.
They've streamlined them, made them a little bit better. And of course, the Master has always been,
Yeah. Cybermen have come a long
Cybermen have come
way.
a long ways, yeah.
Like
They
Cybermen,
sure have.
oh my, have you guys seen the first time? Oh my gosh.
I have not, no.
Oh,
I've seen
Google
some
it.
too, but not all of them.
Google
They
it
look
because
classic.
they're hilarious. It is literally a man with like a silver mask on his face, and like, no, it's totally kooky. It's,
well, and they played back to that with the last 2 episodes with Capaldi,
yeah,
where they,
I love.
right, because they go back and you're like, they're showing what the early Cybermen looked like and how they were advancing.
Yes.
And they actually explain why they now look different. So that's kind
I
of
know,
cool.
which is good, and I love that because it tells the story. Because you have 900 years of history that we know of, because Jodie kind of went into, oh wait, is there more history? That sort of thing. But there's at least 900 years of history for the Doctor. So the Doctor changes and evolves each time. It's kind of funny that you would expect their villains to evolve too. The dialects are the only ones that really haven't changed that much,
Right.
but they're so classic. They are such a classic design. When they came out, it was like, I remember watching the first Doctor Who with the dialect that I've ever seen. Right, I was probably like 6 years old, and I was like, why is he scared of a trash can with a plunger?
Right.
Like, this is literally why is he scared of a trash can with a plunger going exterminate? I was like, what? Is he needing to plunge your toilet? Like, I literally was like, this is the weirdest, like, villain ever. Like, but they're iconic.
Right. Very enduring, very iconic, most
Yeah.
definitely.
So, who's your favorite Doctor? Everyone probably has a favorite Doctor.
9.
9?
10.
10?
It's like tearing my heart in 3 pieces to have to do that.
Girl, I get that. I love them all for different reasons.
Yes.
Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Well, yeah, 10 is my favorite.
10, I know 10. I knew 10 was your
But
favorite.
I do love Matt Smith, and I do love the Professor. So I find him very enduring. So.
Well, I mean, he does go by the Professor, and I do go by Hayes. So, so here's the thing. My favorite, I love Matt. I
Yeah.
love Matt Smith.
Yeah.
But I love Matt because his companions, Amy
Yes.
and Rory, were so amazing. And they pushed him so much further. And it was a good switch between Matt, like David and Matt,
Right,
when that
right.
switch happened. Because you had David is, all the Doctors have their own personalities, right? Like, Chris is warrior, loner, like, I've been alone forever, I don't need anyone. Oh wait, there's this girl, I must save her. She's kind of cool. Like, he's like the cool
Right,
kid
right,
at school
right.
who like everybody wants to hang out with, but he's like, I'm too cool for you. It's like, fine. And then David's like that romantic Doctor.
Where's his heart on his sleeve?
He does.
Which I do, so
You
that's
do,
why
it's
I'm
perfect.
very much fit with David. So
Matt is your comic, and
Yeah.
but
He's a Hufflepuff.
he's such a Hufflepuff. He is. If they were in houses, he'd be a Hufflepuff.
Today I'm a Slytherin because Amy's a Slytherin, but
Oh yeah,
as myself, I'm a Hufflepuff.
yes, I get that. So he is very much wears his heart like on his sleeve as well. So he carries over that with
he
David.
does.
But it's also like in this comedy thing. He's also the youngest,
Right.
so he
But his character is almost like the old man. So that's the
love
funny
that.
thing, yeah.
When he first comes on, like the first thing, he's like custards and fish sticks. Like I'm like, oh God, I love him. I love him so much. And I know that a lot of people, come on in, you guys. A lot of people did not like the change. Every time there's a Doctor change, there's always the people who are like, I will never love another Doctor.
Right.
Especially when David left.
Right.
I heard that uproar. It was huge. I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry, Matt Smith.
I know, I felt bad for him.
I felt bad for him because there were tons of people I knew that were like, I can't get over
I will
getting
never
there.
love another dog. And then they start getting used to Matt and they're like, oh, he's good. And then they bring in Peter, who's complete. So you have the young one. And then, not that he's the oldest, because in the whole span of the doctor, he's not the oldest, but he's the oldest of the newer doctors.
Right.
And then he's
I call
totally
it classic who and
non-crazy.
new who.
Yeah, classic and new, yeah.
And then when it switches to Jody, I have that as a different.
I would still consider it in the new who as well. But Jody, that upset people for all kinds of different reasons. However, still the doctor.
Right.
Still the doctor. Peter, though, when he became the doctor, everybody had gotten used to the funny kind of like, ha, this is cool. Look, fences are cool, bow ties are cool. Look at me, I'm in a cowboy hat now. Like, yes.
And you read our cards with
Then he
our
was just
logo.
insulting everyone.
Oh yeah, yes. And then there's Peter, and Peter, I call Peter the psychological doctor because I feel like, so Matt got to go back into the doctor's childhood a little bit. He got to be like the kid again. And then Peter's like the grown up who's like, oh, now I have to deal with my childhood trauma. Like it's a childhood trauma thing. The episode Under the Bed, like
Yeah,
the
that's a great episode. That's
totally
my favorite Capaldi episode.
Yes. And so I'm like, that's what
mine too.
I explain.
And that's
Well, mostly.
I cannot pick favorite episodes.
I know. As soon as I
Seriously,
say it's my favorite episode, I think of another episode,
yeah.
I
and
hate
then I'm
that.
like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, there's so many. And then when Jody came in, I was like, I didn't know how I would feel about it. Not because she's a woman, but because everyone was leaving.
Right.
Like
right.
the showrunners were all leaving. And then when that happens, you never know what's going to happen with the show, right?
Right.
Like if
Right.
you have a successful team of showrunners, you kind of know their voice at this point. You know what they're going to do a little bit. They could surprise you a tiny bit, but not
Especially
huge.
when you replace them with showrunners that basically like know the things that the common layman type fan would know,
You.
but not
No, you know,
yeah,
you're
me.
not.
Basically, I know very, very little about Doctor Who. I up until a year ago maybe, if you asked me about Doctor Who, my response would be, I don't get it.
I made
never
him
really
watch
enjoyed
it.
the show.
It was a prerequisite to get
It
married
was.
last night. I'm just saying.
Never really enjoyed the show. I didn't really dislike it. I was just like, I don't understand why it's as popular as it is.
But when they changed
But then
the
I started watching it, and I was like, okay, I can understand. But I'm still learning. But with the Jodie series, like I just know a lot of like the things that they did and a lot of the stuff behind the scenes and stuff. And it's like the showrunners that came on were very much just layman fan type people. So it's like, I know that this is popular, and I know you got to have this and you got to have this, but knew nothing else.
Right. Right.
And so it's like, just everything was wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, but it got better. Like the first couple
Yes.
episodes with Jodie, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, I didn't feel that. I felt the same way about Capaldi when he came in. I thought, I'm not
See,
sure I like.
I loved Capaldi.
He grew on me.
Yeah.
Once he started
Capaldi
playing
was awesome.
guitar, and I'm like, okay.
I didn't like most of the writing for the first season with Jody.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
the thing.
that is the problem.
Because I
Right.
think that the problem is when people come in, especially when they have a whole new team. And this has happened with a lot of TV shows. Gilmore Girls, back in the day when Amy and her husband left, and then the last season they were just like, well, okay, we're gonna throw, and it was like not even the same thing. So they didn't understand the history that the show has, not just for the characters, but for the fans.
Right.
Yeah.
We all know the history of these things. We don't need to be explained every little detail of them. Two, we don't need fanfare because we're fans. Everything they do, we love almost. There's been a couple things I'm like, okay. What? Oh, you needed a fun episode. It's okay. You had 2 serious episodes. Now you need a funny one. Dinosaurs in space. I'm just saying. You guys know what I'm talking about. Dinosaurs in space. I was like, they had 2 heavy episodes, and then they were like, this is gonna be dinosaurs in space, and I'm like,
So As a guy who grew up watching Land of the Lost, though,
It was good.
I'm like, you freaking put dinosaurs in space. I'm in. I'm in. You
Well, it
sold me.
was a fun one.
It was, and I
it's
do
in
like
it,
a fun
and
episode,
and
too.
it cut through. Like I love
The
that they
tension.
did that. They did, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's really hard when people ask like favorite episode.
Oh, I agree.
My favorite doctor is Matt.
Mhm.
He is my favorite. But Peter comes in really close behind because I just love that whole difference. And I love that they did them one back to back. I think it showed the doctor, all the angles of the doctor in a very unique way.
Well, all I can say, I completely bought into Peter once he's standing on top of the tank with the guitar and says, "How do you like my fish tank?" I'm like, "Okay, you got me."
Oh my gosh. I loved him from the beginning because I just thought that he's the psychological.
He is. He had a hard time finding himself, I thought. And I didn't think the writing was as good the first season.
I think it was good for him. I will say this. Now, companions. We're going to get into companions here. He knows where I'm going.
Companions are a mixed bag.
Companions are a mixed bag. And
Ace is awesome, though.
And they can literally be great for one doctor
Yeah,
and
and
terrible for
the
another.
next.
Because Clara should never have been put over.
Oh,
She
yeah.
did not match Peter's personality
No.
at all.
No,
And I
she
didn't like the tension that she was mad at him.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
dude, he's an alien who regenerates into a totally different person. You knew this.
Yeah, you knew this going in.
Well, and supposedly you've been following the doctor throughout all history.
Yeah, so you've
you
seen
know-
all
you
these
know
doctors.
this.
So don't get mad at the man. He can't help it.
And you know the doctor can be a jerk.
She wasn't necessarily connected to her split selves, though.
That's true.
That's the
That's
thing.
true.
She
Yeah,
split
yeah.
herself between the time stream, but then as far as I can tell, she lost all connection with the different splits
Yeah.
of herself because she doesn't carry over any of those.
That's
memories.
true.
But it's still like she knows he's talked to her. You know, Matt and her had like TARDIS talk, like I always like imagine TARDIS talk. This is what I call it, when we're not like watching them and they're like in the TARDIS just traveling from one place to
That's
another.
not
And
when
they're
Amy
like,
got pregnant, right? Remember this talk?
no,
No, okay, sorry.
that was with Rory.
I know it was with Rory.
I mean, that's not talk, babe. That's
Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys are the newlyweds, you're the experts. Right?
But I call it TARDIS talk, right? Like, Matt Smith, he liked to talk. She's going to be in there and he's going to be telling her stories.
Yeah.
And she's going to know he's going to eventually change.
Yeah, she would have known that.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, she's like, I was friend. He was my best friend. Like, no, listen, Amy and Rory are Matt Smith's best friends. I'm just going to throw that out.
Yes.
there.
That's true.
No one's replacing them.
Amy was. Rory was just there.
No, I think at the end, he loved Rory just as much as he
I
loved
don't know.
Amy.
I don't know.
I think he
I think he liked. I liked
I'm
him
on
better.
her side.
I think
he
did.
liked him a lot better than he did at the beginning.
I think once Rory, like, literally gave thousands of
Yeah,
years
that's
to
true.
protect Amy,
Yes.
The
like,
doctor was sold.
the doctor's like, oh yeah, you're good enough for my best friend. Plus, I like you. Now, Rory sometimes didn't like the doctor so
Well,
much.
as he should. As he should.
That's a different story. I mean, what would you think if I went away like the night before our wedding? So like 2 nights ago, if I would have gone into space with a strange man that I met as a child and he came back for me. Would you like him?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how to approach that.
I'm not gonna lie, if the doctor came and
Oh yeah, no, I
would.
would. I'd be like, it makes sense.
Hey, you can bring me back to this? Okay, I'm gone.
Except for
He
might
might
not
be
be the
back
exact
3 years
same time.
before,
It might-
3 years later.
I know.
Yeah.
It's fine. Time is
But
relevant.
you know that because he said he'd be right back, and he shows up how many years later?
Yeah, exactly. I know that's the only part of that. Like, I'm like, she is seriously not wanting to get married yet because
Right.
he's like, I'll bring you right back. Well, you said you were going to be right back, like, and it's 20 years. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
right.
your right back is not the same as mine.
My fiance may not think that.
Yeah, but I love Amy and Rory. But
No, I agree.
companions, I think, are, like you said,
So,
they're hit or miss.
so my daughter loved Amy and Rory so much that once Claire came, she watched 2 episodes and said, "Nope, I'm done. I can't deal." Unless you bring Amy and Rory back, I'm done.
But you can't.
Well, she did.
They're stuck
But-
in the
but
past. You can't bring them
I
back.
understand. I'm just saying. And of course, that was the teenage mindset too. So hopefully she'll come back good eventually. But
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with Rose when he left Rose. So I
was
have
so in love with him and Rose.
I'm probably the only person who's ever said this out loud to you. Rose did not deserve her own doctor.
Which doctor?
The one who got stuck with her.
Oh, well.
that was pretty freaking off.
Here's the thing. I grew to love the human doctor because here's
Oh,
the
I
thing.
love him.
No. I think I'm fine with them together because here's the thing. I understand she was really attached to everything.
Yes.
I understand that's gonna be hard. But sorry, I read a whole lot of fan fiction that has cleared everything.
Let's talk about TARDIS talk.
I read all human doctor and Rose fan fictions that basically fix everything. So I have no problems anymore.
I love it.
I'll talk to you later about the stand.
Yeah, where do we find these sites? You're not posted to GeekyKOOL on it.
I seriously wanted to start a podcast one time called TARDIS Talk, just where we talk about Doctor Who. How
It's
much
an
I love
18 or older show.
Am I mean? Yeah, now. I'm hosting it. It's fine. But no, I had friends, and I have lots of Doctor Who fan friends. Like, we are kind of obsessed with it, and all of them will be like, no, she deserved the doctor. He should have stayed with her. And I'm like, okay, I get that, but he's never stayed with a companion before.
But nobody's like Rose.
He was married with a daughter and a granddaughter. Like, seriously, you think Rose is more special than a wife and a kid and a granddaughter? Talk to me when you become a grandpa.
He left his granddaughter.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
left Rose too, but
He left Rose with him.
well, yeah.
Well, but like, it wouldn't have happened with Eccleston.
Oh no.
Okay?
Oh, no,
So
no.
It only could happen with
With the
David
romantic
Tennant
David.
because he wears his heart like he does.
Because he's the
So,
romantic.
Because he's super attached, it could only happen.
Oh yeah.
But Eccleston, she needed to go through Eccleston before she got to him.
Oh yeah, you all need to go through a bad boy phase before you find your friend. That's the thing. We need to date the bad boy first before we find the good guy and think, oh yeah.
For most people, it's not the same guy.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I do like that they changed the personality.
Right,
Like, a
right,
lot of
I
people
agree.
ask why Doctor Who has like gone so long and why fans still like it. I don't get it. It's a different person playing the part. I was like, because it's a different part.
Right.
You have all the memories and you see glimpses of the old doctors, but it's a totally different personality. It was such a brilliant idea for a show.
Right.
Because it can't span 60, 70 years without going, why are we getting new doctors? Like, no, we explained that. Like, all right.
Right. Well, and the one thing I love about it is the flaw in the previous doctor is usually overcompensated by the new doctor.
Yeah.
So if he's stone hard cold, then the next one's going to be very personable, but not have the intelligence of the previous one or
Are
something.
you saying somebody's not intelligent? Which one's not intelligent?
Well, I'm not saying they're not intelligent. I'm just saying their personalities are, some doctors play to it more than others.
Here's the thing. There's the warrior doctors,
Mhm.
there's the intellectual doctors, and then there's the compassionate, loving doctors. They cannot be all of them,
Right.
except for Matt Smith. Think about it.
It's all back to your
Right.
favorite doctor.
Right? No, because Peter's really up there, but Peter is not. He doesn't have that emotional intelligence. He's intelligent. He doesn't have an emotional intelligence. Matt, though, he can be a warrior doctor when a good man goes to war. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But he's also
Speaking
funny.
of the lawyer doctor, I love him.
Right? Yes.
All I'm saying is I think they all do that at a level. They can tap into that other side if they need to,
Right.
but it's just when they need to. That's not their default. I don't think it's
Oh, no, it's not
default
his,
to be
he's
that.
not, no.
But he's able to do that. But I think they all can do that. Because Tennant could do that also.
Tennant was very good about that. Chris was not as much.
Right.
I mean,
Well-
he was just like,
Well,
He was
and
not there long enough to get to show everything he could do.
Well, that's true too.
that's true. Yeah, that was always disappointing. I always felt like he should be on a second. I always felt like he should have been a second season.
Well, what I do is I watch clips of him when he was in Heroes, and then just
Oh.
imagine how he was back.
There you go.
He's got a beard, and it looks, his voice and his attitude is very similar.
It's very similar. I know it's like he's playing the same character, just a different look. It's fine. You know, that happens all the time too.
Just regenerated. Well, talking about different though, with Tennant, one of the things that I love about Tennant is that as much as I love him as the Doctor, and he's my favorite, I love him as a villain even more.
Oh,
When he can be a vampire, he can be
an evil wizard.
an evil wizard, he can be a supervillain.
Uh-huh.
My gosh, you make him a villain, I'm like, okay, I'm really sold.
Did you watch the Sheen and Tennant thing that I told you? Like during shutdown?
That was
What was it
great.
called? Staged?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Staged. Have you guys watched that?
No.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Michael
Michael
Sheen,
Sheen and
David
David
Tennant
Tennant
playing
stuck at home
themselves.
during COVID, streaming with each other, like
It's
video chatting with each other.
Hilarious. Just starting that on.
No, that is really good. Yeah, I did go see that.
There were two
And-
seasons of it.
Good Omens. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Season 2.
I know.
Yeah.
Good Omens season 2. I'm like, yeah.
So, but no, so
Did
I,
you guys see Much Ado About Nothing with Catherine Tate and David Tennant?
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
So good.
Speaking of companions that are underappreciated,
yes.
Donna.
Oh,
Donna, I
I
agree.
thought we were talking about
It's
something
okay.
else. I gotta go back to the booth.
Everyone
All right,
knows you're
Rory.
underappreciated. It's
All right,
fine.
Rory, see you later.
Yes, I mainly stopped by the kid booth. What did you just call?
Rory.
I see how it is.
She's gone for a couple days. It'll be okay.
Oh, you're a male nurse. It's so cute. He doesn't know enough about it to understand the jokes.
Wait a minute. I just got to watch this episode. Wait a
He
minute.
literally will go Google shit. What are they talking? Why are they making fun of me?
So yes. So Donna.
Donna.
Yeah,
I
great.
think she's probably one of the most appreciated
And she's a
companions.
Hufflepuff.
She's Hufflepuff. But I love her. I loved her with
Yeah,
David,
yeah,
especially after the whole oh, Rose.
Well, then you got Martha, who I think is very underappreciated
Martha is
also.
also David had.
If people hate on Martha.
Yeah.
Hate on Martha. And I'm like,
Oh, no, I like Martha.
no, I love Martha.
I always feel bad. Okay, I like Rose
Right.
to death.
I do
But,
too.
but did she mistreat her boyfriend?
Oh God, yeah.
Horribly.
This is what I'm saying. She didn't deserve her own doctor. I'm like, listen, I deserve my own doctor way more than she does. I'm just throwing that out there.
So I said, hey,
She's
Martha's
so
a great
young, though.
girl.
She's
I
19.
like the
I know.
fact that she got together with who she did because it just
Oh
it
yeah,
felt so, I didn't feel bad for him anymore. I was like, he gets his own girl, who cares?
he gets a better
He gets
girl. Let's face
Martha.
it.
Yeah.
Like Martha is a badass.
Yeah, she's great.
Right.
Right. Well, and she's one of the companions to finally go on and do a lot with her life afterwards. I mean, good gravy, this
And they go
woman is
through it.
incredible.
They understand it, and they show it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when a companion goes away, you just like, what
They're
happened
gone
to
forever.
them?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
They may
there's
show
Sarah
up
Jane
in 20
Adventures.
years.
I love the Sarah Jane Adventures.
I know.
love
Oh,
Sarah
yeah.
Jane.
So cute.
Yeah, I loved Sarah
Yeah,
Jane.
well, right.
With K9. Okay, K9 is amazing.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that I made Amanda Cole, who's a dear cosplayer friend of mine, and she only does like Doctor Who cosplay. She wanted to be K9, so she made this dress, and she's like, I need a headband that moves. So
I
I made her a
love that.
headband that like has an antenna that moved. It's for. She also did I can't think of their names. You know the villains with the birds on their heads?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from the classic Doctor,
Yeah.
like the kooky, oh my gosh, what were they thinking? There's like a feather hat with a bird head on it. I made her one of those headbands
That's
too.
awesome. That is awesome.
But I love Canine.
Yeah,
Canine's one of my
Canine's great.
favorites.
I agree. So,
But yeah,
but no, Donna's awesome because Donna can give it to the doctor and not even blink like, oh no, you didn't. Oh no.
Well,
And
it's
she totally big sisters him.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Like she puts him in his place.
So that's probably the one companion next to Rose as a Nick that makes me cry is Donna's Nick because I'm like, she doesn't get to know
That what she did.
what she did. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, that's just
It's because I'm like, now she's kind of stuck back in the life that she was trying to escape. Oh, it breaks my heart. So
Yeah.
But she
Clara,
gets
I
a
have
good
no-
guy though, so.
Clara, I have no, like, I'm like, whatever.
I know exactly when they were like ending it, I was like, I'm not sad though.
I know, right? Like, I wanted to
It
be
felt like
sad.
an ending. And
I felt
okay.
like it should have ended like I feel like Claire's arc had already
Yeah,
taken
I feel
place.
Yeah, right.
And then it was like this downtime that they're like, we got a new doctor, but Clara was kind of popular, so we're gonna keep her around
So this is,
and a little longer. She should have died off or done something. Oh no, we're gonna keep her around longer.
well, because they didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
I really felt like the writing didn't know where to go with it.
They should have gone with Maisie's character.
Yeah, yeah.
Maisie's character.
Maisie's
should have
character would have
become
been
a
amazing,
companion. The girl who died and then the girl who lived. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maisie's character, they should have like,
Well, she
bye
was-
bye Clara.
She was kind of doing another show at the time. It was a
It's
little
fine.
popular. I don't know. I mean, she made
I
that.
mean,
time,
you know,
yeah.
she was a star. It's
That's fine. You know she's gonna die because she's a star. I mean,
I mean, she doesn't die.
no, she does.
She never dies.
Right.
I wanted that show.
That would have been a great show. That would have been a huge spinoff.
Well, there's so many spinoffs that they should have done.
Yeah, we've actually done a whole radio session on spinoffs they should have done.
With Dr.
Frankly, I
I
think
think they've done
actually
spin-offs that
getting,
they- oh, sorry, go
Sorry.
ahead.
I think actually getting the human doctor with Rose and their life in the second world would have been a cool.
It would have been a spinoff. And what were you gonna say?
I said on their spin-offs, they probably shouldn't have done that they have.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I'm just saying. Although it's Captain Jack, I'm
I was gonna say,
never
Torchwood-
complaining about Captain Jack on screen. I'm just saying that.
Okay, well, I don't get that part, but Torchwood was cool.
I
so.
mean, same as I don't get the Rose part. It's fine.
Well, yeah.
That's fine.
And then typically I'm out into blonde, so I don't know.
I know. He usually likes redheads.
I do.
It's because he's a Spider-Man fan, so you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well-
See, they're back there and they're like, yeah.
Yeah,
we
well,
get
you
it.
also, but I also in the comics, and of course I was really little time. I cried when Gwen died, so maybe that made it tragic enough that I didn't want a blonde because I, you know, I don't know.
There you go. That's
Um,
why you like Donna too. No.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you kidding? And feisty. I love the feisty.
I think that's probably what it is. But no, there's so many things that should
Right.
have done. The
I
doctor's
think you would have
daughter.
been a good match for Donna.
Oh my God, he would have been great. The doctor's daughter. Do you guys remember that?
Oh,
one?
yeah.
David
I love that
Yeah.
David
episode.
Tennant's wife.
Right.
That would, she goes off at the end of it. Why didn't you make it? Where did she go? Why hasn't this been a show?
And why hasn't she reappeared?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they should bring her back with,
They should have.
with, oh, my mind just went blank.
With Matt?
No, the newest doctor.
Oh, with Jody.
Yeah, I think they should.
Yeah,
bring
that
her
would have
back
been
with Jodie.
cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You're my father and it's Jody.
Yeah. She's confused enough with what's going on.
She's like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Jody is she is the warrior for righteousness
Mm.
doctor. She wants everybody to be,
No, you're right.
you know, why can't we all just be friends? We're
Yeah.
family. She always hugs people and says their family is a thing.
Well, her personality is pretty close to Tennant and Smith's
Very.
personalities. She's feeding off of a lot of that, and I love her personality. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, she's doing an amazing job. She's been hampered with some writing that's not always been the strongest, and some show running that seems like they don't know where they're going. Hopefully that'll be corrected with the new doctor, but yeah.
Are you excited about the new doctor?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if she would have been a better companion than a doctor.
So I think the time was right for her to be the doctor. I actually think she's a good doctor.
I agree.
I think that the scripts were
Yep.
not,
Yeah.
like,
And she
I
did
think
a really
she's
good
better
job
than the
of
scripts.
channeling some of the
Yes,
other
I
doctors
agree.
at the start. And she's definitely better than the script.
Yeah, she's better than the script. So I feel like she unfortunately
She deserved better.
she did. And she got into a place with a show that is uber, like, popular with crazy fans.
But some really critical crazy fans.
Yes,
That's-
I'm not
that's-
that.
Right.
But that don't understand, and they're like, well, I don't understand why she's doing this and stuff. And I'm like, and it's her fault. Like, Jodie got hate mail.
I know.
She got hate mail when she became the doctor after
Crazy.
the first 2 episodes. The people were threatening her. Like, okay, first of all, I love my fandoms, but I'm not going to threaten a human being for a fandom. I'm just saying
Right.
that no one should do that. Like,
Yeah, no.
Internet.
No, like, but fandoms get crazy and toxic, and it's just a problem.
we
Right.
call it gatekeeping, and it's not something we do. No.
Nope.
But
Nope.
Jodie, I think, played the doctor in a way that it worked, especially after Peter's very
Yes.
serious doctor. But they couldn't go way like kooky like Matt. Like, they needed something in between those two, and I feel like she did a really, really good job
Great
with
job.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that the writing lacked. I also think that
It got a little better.
It did.
it did this last time. It's been better, but that first season, that first 6 episodes of Jodie, I just felt so bad for her.
Right.
I liked Rosa because of all the significance with that.
Yeah.
The time travel was a little bit, but
How'd you guys feel about Bill with
Oh.
Peter?
so I love Bill, and that's not necessarily a popular opinion, but I just love her.
I love Bill as a part. I think Bill would have been a great person to have on 1 episode,
Yeah, on 1 episode.
or maybe 2. Like,
Yeah.
maybe the puddle and then the end where the water, like that. I think would have been. I don't think Bill added as much to Peter as they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they played off as much.
Right.
I just disagree with everyone in the room and love Bill, so.
I love her. I just don't think they
I-
played off as each other as much as, like, I didn't feel like they were friends.
So,
Yeah,
some
no, they
compa-
did. They did.
Yeah, like,
She,
maybe here's the thing. Maybe she would have been a better companion with a different doctor.
No,
And
agreed.
oh, that's what I think a lot of these companions'
I wouldn't
problems
argue
is
with you
just the
there.
doctor that they're with.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Bill would have been great with David.
Yeah.
I think Bill would have been great with Jodie.
Yep.
Oh, I would love that.
See, it makes more
No,
sense.
that I agree with
I
both of
think
those.
that Peter, because one, he's still very, like, he's emotionally raw,
Yeah.
that doctor, and he's just dealt with the whole Clara thing. Let's face it, that messed him up
yeah.
a lot. And then Bill, who's an amazing character, and she's written so well, comes in, but they don't have this interaction that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she has better interactions with other characters than she does with the doctor.
Right.
So I just feel like they kind of forced it. They were like trying to force a companion into this doctor. I think it would have been better if Peter would have been a companion-less doctor for a few more episodes and then met Bill. But I don't think he was ready for
Had
the
time
companion.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know they did that, like they talk about it's been, a while, but we didn't see that while.
Yeah.
I always hate when shows do that. I want to see the
Well,
while. I
and
want to see
with the doctor, you get a lot of that though.
you do, but not when they're that emotionally, like they need closure too,
They-
because we need closure.
Right.
It's actually mostly for us, not for
It's always for us. It's just how it is. But no,
I agree.
I love Bill, and then Bill's one of those that people forget that she exists or
Yeah.
they exist. Like they I don't remember a Bill. Like I don't remember him. Well, I said them, but or they. Like it. You should remember them. But yeah, I like Bill, but I didn't like Bill with Peter.
No, I agree with that. I always thought bringing the doctors granddaughter back into something would have been an
Right?
interesting thing to do also.
Oh, yeah.
I
She's
mean,
probably on another regeneration by now anyway.
you'd think so.
I would,
No,
they've
I
never
would-
talked about her
No,
dying or anything.
no.
Like, that's the one thing about when they did the revision of it with Chris and stuff. I know that they were trying to bring in like a bunch of new fans, and apparently it worked.
Right.
But they act like Rose is like the first companion he's ever had in his entire
Right.
lifetimes. He's had amazing companions before Rose. Amazing.
Agreed.
Sarah Jane Smith.
Sarah Jane. Amazing. Ace.
Ace.
Amazing.
I love Ace. So if you guys don't know the classic Ace and what she calls the doctor professor, that chemistry of that relationship where it's almost like he's a mentor, he's trying to help her, but he's letting her run around with explosives.
I know.
And I'm like, here's an 18-year-old girl, give her explosives. Hey, doctor, hey, professor, guess what I can do? Blow these things up. I'm like, and he's sitting with his little hat going, yeah, that's awesome.
That's good.
I'm like,
Did you kill anyone? No. Okay, you're
all
good.
right, great. Let me grab my cane, let's
I
go.
feel like
Which
he let me do
doctor
that.
is that?
I do. 7th.
The seventh doctor. I feel like that's why he calls me Ace, because I feel like when I started with GeekyKOOL, he's like, I was like, what do you need me to do? He's like, I don't know, just do stuff. Like,
Yeah, pull something up, I don't care.
yes. It's fun. So we talked about companions. Do you guys have favorite companions?
It's definitely Donna, sorry.
Donna.
Donna's awesome. No, you're not going to get any argument with
No,
Donna.
you're not going to get any argument with
Probably
any of them.
Amy.
Amy's awesome.
Amy.
I
yeah.
mean, I'm dressed as her, so I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I wish I could do the accent very badly. But
Amy Pond was great.
Yes.
Of course, we wouldn't have one of my favorite. She was never really a companion, but we
River?
wouldn't have her without Amy and Rory
Right,
and
that's
the
true.
TARDIS and those knights in the TARDIS. Yeah,
Knights
River
in the
Song.
TARDIS.
River Song is like.
River Song is awesome.
You know what I always found interesting? They did the Doctor's Wife episode, right?
I love
Where-
that one where the
where-
TARDIS.
With the TARDIS, yes.
Yes.
I thought it would have been cool if we did the Doctor's Wife episode with Eccleston. I thought
That would have
been
been
an
amazing.
interesting collaboration, because I think,
Oh.
yes, it works with Matt Smith, but we're doing all this funky romantic stuff, and I think it would have been interesting just to see Eccleston. So when I watched the episode, I go, wow, how would it have been different with
Oh,
Eccleston?
see that I've never thought about that. That sounds. I mean, I would watch that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's one of my favorite episodes. Like, it's really hard for me to narrow them down, but when people say like, that people are like, quick, that's one of the favorites that I love that you get to see the TARDIS's personality.
Right.
Like, cause here's the thing, companions come and go.
Right.
The TARDIS is his constant.
Right.
I've never really quite gotten that episode, I'm gonna be honest.
So basically the TARDIS is a spirit. The TARDIS has a personality. That's why the doctors all talk to the TARDIS. The TARDIS has a brain. It knows where to go. It knows more than the doctor. And she basically kidnapped the doctor. Like, the doctor always says, I stole a TARDIS, but he didn't really steal the TARDIS.
An older model.
Yeah. The TARDIS stole him.
Right.
The TARDIS chose him because it knew it could go on amazing adventures with him.
It
And
left
so-
its door open, basically.
It did. It was like, they were supposed to all be locked, and there's this one that's unlocked. It's like, come inside and I'll take and basically how the doctor goes to his companions, and like, it's bigger on the inside, and come in and he takes them on one little adventure, and then they get like hooked. Right? That's what the TARDIS did to the doctor. The TARDIS was like, come inside, look inside. Look, I'm amazing. You want to travel with me? We'll go on a little adventure. I'll bring you right back. Dude, I'll bring you right back. Oh, wait, you don't want to come back? Yes, you're mine.
Grab your granddaughter. Let's do this.
Grab your granddaughter, grab, hey, you want to bring some other people on here? That's fine. But remember, they come and go. I am always here. I am your constant companion. I love that episode because of that, because I feel like a lot of people are always talking about oh, you know, David should have stayed with Rose, you know, like 10 should have stayed with Rose, like Matt should have done this, and like they can't. They're the love of their life. This is why he leaves his granddaughter. This is why he should never have left somebody with Rose, because that's not how companions work. They get left. It's a thing. They get left.
It's tragic.
It is tragic, but you sign up
Rose.
for it. They
She was
get
a bad
left.
wolf for you.
Oh, so Amy and Rory got stuck in the past, okay, and never get to see their best friend again. Like, other people have sacrificed, okay? They didn't get their own
I
doctors.
know.
We're going past this, okay, Professor? I was making a point. But the TARDIS is his, like, truest friend. It is the one thing that he has from his home that he gets to keep forever. It's the one thing that he knows understands him, no matter who he regenerates into. And with that episode, they showed her personality. Like, one, that she chose him. He's always, this whole time, thought, I stole a TARDIS. Like, up until that episode, in his mind, I stole a TARDIS. I chose this life. No, you didn't. The TARDIS chose you.
Mhm.
Which puts the Doctor in this really cool headspace. And you can see the transition of the episodes after that, because he now realizes that he is actually the companion. The Doctor is the companion to the TARDIS. The show is not about the Doctor, really, in his head. Like, if he was watching the show, he'd be like, it's not about me now. It was about me until she, like, told me, no, I chose you. Like, it's about the TARDIS and what the TARDIS wants to, where the TARDIS wants to go, when the TARDIS wants to go, because that's also the thing you notice in every generation of the Doctor, the regeneration of the Doctor. You notice that sometimes he'll say, we're going to go here.
And then they don't.
Then they don't. And the reason they don't, because the TARDIS has other plans. She's the boss.
Well, she's also mad when you leave the brake on.
She is. She is. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite
Whoever
episodes.
can fly the TARDIS better than the Doctor, I love that.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, like, at first,
She can
though,
kind of communicate with the TARDIS.
she did. Well, she was conceived in the TARDIS.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to my sister the other day.
she's like, the TARDIS is like, I've known you since before you were born.
Just getting all from there.
It's a true
Real
thing.
close to you.
I literally have not said anything before
I
inappropriate.
know you have.
He has to, like, mute me sometimes. AJ talks and she's
Come on, Ace, let's reel it in here.
I'm sorry, you gotta remember
No,
the
no,
grandkids
I
can
know.
watch these shows.
We'll call it TARDIS talk.
But yes, River. Seriously, I'm gonna do that someday. I really am. It's gonna be beautiful. But River has a really cool relationship with the TARDIS. Like you said, she can actually drive the TARDIS and work the TARDIS. Because the TARDIS allows her to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the TARDIS knows that River is good for the Doctor. Like, she is. She everything she does from their last meeting. You know, the time where it's his first meeting with her, her last meeting with him.
Yeah.
Everything she
Sad.
does in his timeline from that point on is to get her to that point so that she does everything she possibly can to help the Doctor. The TARDIS knows this.
Yeah.
So the TARDIS is going to allow her to do whatever she needs to do to help the Doctor.
Well, I mean, the TARDIS is the reason why Rose became Batgirl.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so if the TARDIS wasn't alive and didn't have a spirit, Rose would have never been able to help the Doctor.
Right,
Exactly.
So
right.
Okay, so my favorite companion is Rose, and though I may have complaints with her, I do love her. I have complaints with her, but I have complaints with everyone.
Oh, God.
So,
It's
it's fine.
live, it's
It's
live,
fine.
it's
It's all
like-
fine. My favorite episode is the Doctor Dances.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just
Oh,
attached
yes.
to that episode.
It's a great
And I
episode.
watch it and I'm like, I don't know why I like this so much, but he's like so happy that no one died.
Yes.
And compared to everything else that is happening, like even with David Tennant has a huge amounts of deaths and everything like that. And he was Eccleston was so happy with the fact that no one died in the time that I was like, I can't. This was the epitome of what I liked about the Doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
Here.
Yeah.
So.
And he knows, I mean,
Now I'm wanting to go back and rewatch episodes.
do it. He knows, like the Doctor knows that, and he tells them, you know, there's always danger. If I say run, run, that sort of thing, right? Like run. But he wants to always protect. Like even when he's mad, he still wants to be the good guy. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be important. Like and Peter's Doctor showed people this, is that his childhood was not a happy one.
Right.
And he, you know, it's kind of like the reason young people, me, him, get into comic books on Earth is because we want to be the hero. We want to, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what the Doctor wanted, and the TARDIS saw that, and she took advantage of that. It's like,
Well,
yeah,
I think it's that someone's taking advantage of. It's like you
No, she
you have this
totally-
She
need.
a little
I've
bit has
got
a
this
crush on
need.
Rory.
It's
No, she doesn't. So the TARDIS doesn't have a crush on Rory. I will tell you her fascination with Rory, in my opinion.
Okay,
Her
explain.
fascination with Rory is she's afraid that Amy's going to take the Doctor away from her because Rose almost took the Doctor away from her.
yeah.
And so Rory is what is stopping Amy from taking the Doctor away from her. So she loves Rory because Rory, you're for Amy. The Doctor is for me.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Not that she dislikes Rory. I mean, she likes him way more than the Doctor and him like each other. but the TARDIS,
I mean, if you were in Rory's place,
Oh,
if I was in Rory's place, I
wouldn't like the Doctor, frankly.
would hate the Doctor. Here's the thing, I would like the Doctor because he's a good person, but yeah, no, I would have kept an eye on my woman too. I would have been like, nope, I'll stay here with her. You go off and do your thing. Like, you're not staying here to no, she's mine. Like, I know that sounds bad, and I'm not saying that women are property of men, but you've got to, like, the Doctor is exciting. They live in this sleepy little town, and there's nothing that ever goes on, and she's gonna marry Rory because, I mean, she loves him, but she's also like, hey, he's the only one here.
well, that's true.
It's a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And she hasn't ever gone out, and
Right.
he shows her the world.
Agreed eventually.
What I love about Amy and Rory's relationship is now that she's already seen the universe and she's seen everything out there, she still comes back to her.
Yeah.
That's what makes their relationship as amazing. I love the episode with the dream.
Mhm.
You guys know
oh,
what
I
I'm
love
talking
that
about?
one.
Yeah, where like she has to make that choice and then she chooses to, like, you know, drive the car off, and he's like, what if it was the wrong choice? And she's like, the world without you is not a world I'm happy in.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I remember.
Right? I almost used that at the wedding. I'm just
That
saying.
should have. That would
I'm
have been
just
awesome.
saying.
That should have been what?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't use it.
I would have been going, yeah.
I know you.
So, yeah. Well, let's talk villains.
Yeah, that's
Let's
what
talk
I was
villains.
gonna say.
Or let's talk villains. What villains do we like?
Cybermen. Sorry, I really.
No! Those Cybermen are awesome.
Don't say you're sorry for that.
Why do you like the Cybermen?
It's just like every single time they showed up, you weren't quite sure what they were after this time.
Mhm.
So it was interesting to see the evolution of the Cybermen.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, all right, they showed up last time, but they wanted something in particular, and yes, they want to take over the world. Yes, they want to do that, but why? What's their?
They have different motives every time. Yeah. So it's not like just dialects who are like, exterminate, you are impure, You know, they actually have a motive that strings them through their things. I like that.
Mine is not really a villain. It was more just the little fat jelly, cute little ones.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, they're not villains. And honestly, I thought, but were they that bad? I feel like we could still have that. I know.
If you just get sucked out of me, I'm all right with it.
Yeah,
Run around.
Cute.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just
cute.
adorable.
I can get thin that way. Do that. That's good.
Oh my god, I thought that when I watched that episode. I
I'm
was
like-
like, oh my god, I wanted them for a diet. Like, I'm like, jeez, maybe I have some insight. All right.
How about I'll go?
You just need one or two, just not all of them. So
Not
you
all of
that.
I just want one, and it's
Yeah.
like I could blame it. Like, I'm like, there you go. Oh my gosh, that's so adorable.
I agree.
It's like having a child. It's like it makes you fat, and then it's like, oh my god, but it's so cute.
Well, sometimes the best
Terrible
villains
person.
are not actually villains. Sometimes the best villains are just something that's being misunderstood there.
Right.
And you're not sure why. And a lot of times you'll see that with the aliens of different races.
Yeah.
They're not really villains. They just don't understand what's going on, or maybe a lot of the humans don't understand what's going on to be able to get there. So
Yeah, it's like a communication.
it is.
I mean, some of them are villains.
So the master is a villain, especially the early episodes. Especially the early episodes.
The early master is
That's
a
what I'm
villain.
saying, especially.
But Missy was amazing.
Missy was, but she was still a villain.
She was like more like an anti-hero.
She
Yeah.
sort of at times,
You know,
but she was still trying to be
she
a
was
villain.
a villain, but at the same time, she got to a point. I think it's just, they've lived so long.
Right.
And she got to a point where she's like, oh, I have no friends because everybody's dead.
Right.
Oh, wait, you're still
Well, you
alive.
kind of see why Missy was kind.
Yeah.
Going forward to that
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name of it.
Which one?
The one where they show when the master before Missy.
Yep.
Yes.
It was a- yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Well, and the interesting thing is because the master's personality changes with regenerations also.
Yes.
So as you're watching the classic, and you do get some of that to where you actually see the master say, "Oh, you think you're his friend? Oh, well, I'm actually his friend, but
I'm his oldest friend.
I'm his oldest
It's
friend.
true.
But we
They're
just gonna have this,
They're the best frenemies ever.
yeah, and we just want different things.
I
want
feel like
to
they
take
like
the world.
Master was too much. I'm just not even kidding.
Oh yeah. It just takes it to that next level of like, oh, you cross the line, you just got going.
I feel like the master is like Regina George from Mean Girls. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Like, she's really nice to her friends to their face,
Right.
but she really just wants to take over the school. I'm just saying, like, it's like, okay. I mean, she's not horribly evil. She's just like selfish
Right.
and not compassionate. And I think that, but like I said, each of the doctors have these personality traits, right? Every time you have a regeneration. So like he said, the master does too. And I think Misty was a way for the master to learn a little bit of compassion or empathy.
Yeah.
If you live hundreds and hundreds of years, I think it would be really easy, especially if your whole race and your whole planet is gone, or you think it's gone, or it's gone, or you think it's gone, or it's gone. Like whatever, whichever episode you're on. Whichever
It's
doctor,
wrong.
it's gone. It's not gone.
He's
It's gone.
given so
It's
many
back. It's
spoilers.
gone
Okay,
again.
yeah.
It might be back again, we don't know.
We don't know. But yeah, when that happens, I think that you can lose compassion and empathy. You can lose those things, and I think that that's very normal.
Right.
And
Right.
people lose them when they're just humans lose compassion. And so if we live 900 years,
Ew.
can you imagine? Like,
I would be miserable.
wait, listen, I worked retail for 25 years.
For you.
You lived 900 years.
I disliked people so much. Like, I'm like, You have a problem? Oh, okay. I was retail management for 25 years. I'm like, yeah, everybody makes that noise. I'm like, now I work as a nation.
My brother worked as a TSA officer for like
Oh.
a year or two, and he was like, I hate people.
Yes.
I absolutely hate
So
people.
imagine 900 years of watching people do stupid, terrible things to a planet that you're not even from, but you like, and then you're like supposed to come there and like save them. Like that's the difference between the doctor and the master is humans. The doctor brings companions on. We give him his humanity.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We show him how to be compassionate. The master has been alone for hundreds of years, watching other races destroy planets, destroy universes, destroy everything, and being stupid, and being Karens, and being whatever the
I
male.
just thought the whole
equivalent of
beating of the drums thing.
Oh, the whole meaning of
The beating of the drum thing, that would drive anyone crazy.
Yes. And it's one of those things. But that was very symbolic. It's the beating of the drums is like very symbolic of time passing and things happening, and it's in the background, but yeah.
Like your heartbeat.
Yeah. Like my heartbeat loudly. By the way, that wasn't my heartbeat, I found out.
Oh.
It was Tim's mic, because every time he talked, his
Well,
jaw.
I was gonna say, I thought it was Tim's mic.
It was until he got quiet.
I know, and then it was my
And then it was
heartbeat.
your heartbeat, and I'm like,
I know.
It's
Because
it was
she
shaking up
she
very well.
put it right here, and I was like, when I got on stage, and I was like, oh God, my heart is thumping so bad, because I got married like yesterday. My heart was thumping so bad, and then he starts singing to me, and I'm like, oh God,
That was
I'm
so
gonna pass
sweet.
out.
That was so sweet. I love the song.
Thank you. It's very sweet. We're a cute couple. What can I say? His mother was not. She's like, that was a very unique wedding.
What do you expect from you two? I
And
mean,
she's been
I feel the same way, so.
Yes,
So,
I'm weird for life.
So when you're talking about the master not having companions, what I've always thought of it as, think of it when Batman has no Robin. He gets really dark, he starts crossing lines, starts doing those things. He needs Robin to stay grounded, because
He needs
he's
somebody
not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is the facade. He's not Bruce Wayne. He's Batman.
But he needs somebody to care about.
And so many times he messes them up so bad. But the same thing with the doctor. So the doctor,
his
the doctor
companions.
messes up the
You
companion.
know all those
He
companions
needs
need
them.
therapy.
Oh my God, yeah. So for Martha, she's perfect. So
Oh, you knew she had some therapy.
she had something,
Oh, she
yeah.
definitely had some, and then she was fine with Mickey, but like, it was definitely.
Her and Mickey probably met in therapy. There's probably a therapist in London, and it's like a secret therapist, like Dr. Companion up here. Like, and some doctor wife, like some like plastic surgeon's wife, is like, oh, are you a doctor's like companions therapist? Oh yeah, you can come in and pay money. Oh, Mickey's out there, never mind. Like seriously, like, but no, they all need therapy. But yeah, humans are the doctor's therapy.
Right, they are
They keep him or her
grounded.
grounded
Yeah.
in humanity
Right.
and compassion, because they're not human. And anything we've seen from the Time Lords tells you that race is not necessarily
Yeah, right.
compassionate.
Right, not at all. Well, so just think of the crazy, wacko politicians that we have that have no compassion, have no link to Earth. Really, I think they may all be Time Lords. I don't know. And then you multiply that by 1,000,000, so that's really.
And then they live 900 years.
Oh
No,
yeah, my God.
No, seriously.
I sure hope our politicians don't live to be that.
I get everybody's like, who's your favorite like villain and stuff. Okay, Davros is like, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's face it, he's evil. He's evil. But one of my favorite villains is the Master, because it's like he is the yin to the yang. He
Right.
shows you what the Doctor would be like if he had no companions.
Right.
That's why Chris played it so well, because he has been companionless for so long. They never go into any of his companions before Rose. You know, he had one. Like, if you read some books and stuff, they have said that he did have one between, you know, the War Doctor and him. he had a community, but they never go into that. You know something really bad happened, right? And he's like, nobody's ever gonna get hurt again. I'm not
And
gonna
he
do that.
didn't really want to go with Rose either.
No.
So like she really kind of pushed into his life, and it really was a good thing for him because
Oh, yeah,
right.
it was,
needed that. He needed
because if he didn't, we wouldn't have gotten the heartfelt, compassionate David. We would have gotten somebody closer to the master.
Right.
So.
Well, I think we're up on time, and actually a few minutes over, so. Thank you guys for joining us. Come see us. Check, if you're interested in the website, I've got cards.
Yeah, we
and-
talk about this kind of thing all the time. By the way, just so you know, if you want to write for us or contribute, anybody who has like a nerdy, geeky voice that wants to like say, put a list of